Every laundromat you've ever walked into follows the same script. Machines lined up against the wall, a folding table in the middle, a change machine humming in the corner, and almost never anyone behind a counter. That absence is the first clue. Most businesses need someone watching the register. A laundromat barely needs anyone at all. And that single detail is the whole reason this business has quietly survived for almost a century while other small businesses came and went. Because a laundromat doesn't really sell clean clothes, it sells something far rarer, a business that runs almost entirely without you. Start with the machines themselves. A commercial washer costs several $1,000s, and a coin-operated laundromat might run 20 or 30 of them at once. That's a serious upfront investment before a single quarter drops into a slot. But once those machines are installed, something unusual happens. The owner's daily involvement drops close to zero. Customers load their own clothes, pay for their own cycles, fold their own laundry, and leave. There's no order to take, no plate to clear, no conversation required. The entire transaction is self-service by design. That's not an accident, it's the foundation of the whole model. Most small businesses are constrained by labor. A restaurant needs cooks, a salon needs stylists, a shop needs someone at the counter every hour it's open. Labor is expensive, unpredictable, and hard to scale. A laundromat sidesteps almost all of it. One person can realistically oversee several locations, stopping by briefly each day to empty coin boxes, restock detergent, and fix the occasional jammed machine. The business essentially runs itself between visits. That's exactly why laundromats have become such a common entry point for immigrant entrepreneurs in cities across the country. You don't need fluent English to run one. You don't need a specialized license or years of training. You need capital, reliable equipment, and a location with steady foot traffic. It's one of the few small businesses where the language of commerce is mostly just insert coins, press start. Here's a question worth pausing on. If the business needs almost no daily labor, why doesn't everyone open one? The answer is the upfront cost, and it's steeper than most people assume. A modest laundromat build-out, machines, plumbing, ventilation, flooring, can run anywhere from $200,000 to over $1 million depending on size and location. That's the real barrier to entry. It's not skill, it's capital. And that capital requirement quietly filters out most competition before it even starts, which is part of why an established laundromat rarely worries about a new one popping up across the street. Now, this isn't true everywhere, and it's worth being upfront about that. Plenty of laundromats fail, especially in neighborhoods where apartment buildings start adding in-unit washers and dryers, which removes their customer base almost overnight. The model works best in a fairly specific setting: dense housing, older buildings without hookups, and residents who need a place to wash clothes regularly, not occasionally. Where that setting exists, though, the economics get genuinely interesting, because a laundromat is essentially a cash business built on repetition. Nobody does laundry once. Everybody comes back, usually every 1 or 2 weeks, for as long as they live nearby. That turns a laundromat into something closer to a subscription service, except nobody signed up for anything. The habit itself is the contract. This predictability is part of why laundromats have historically attracted a very specific kind of buyer, and it's worth mentioning honestly. For decades, cash-heavy businesses like laundromats were sometimes used to disguise money from other sources, since it's difficult for outsiders to verify exactly how many loads of laundry actually got washed on a given day. Regulators have cracked down on this over time with stricter reporting requirements, but the reputation stuck, and it's part of why laundromats show up so often in crime dramas as a business owned by someone with something to hide. For the vast majority of owners, though, the appeal is much simpler and far less dramatic. It's steady, boring, recession-resistant cash flow. People don't stop washing clothes during a downturn. If anything, tighter budgets push more people toward a shared laundromat instead of buying their own machine, since a home washer and dryer can easily cost over $1,000 before it's even plugged in. That brings up the real product being sold here more clearly than anywhere else in the business. A home washing machine is a fixed cost. You pay for it whether you do 1 load a week or 10. A laundromat converts that fixed cost into a variable one. Customers aren't really paying for water and electricity. They're paying to avoid ever owning, maintaining, or repairing a machine themselves. The laundromat absorbs all of that risk and complexity and sells it back in small, forgettable increments of a few dollars at a time. That's also why the folding tables and vending machines matter more than they seem to. A trip to the laundromat usually takes an hour or more of unavoidable waiting. Owners learned decades ago that idle customers are an opportunity, not a nuisance. A snack machine, a soda machine, a television bolted to the wall, sometimes even Wi-Fi, all exist to quietly capture a little more revenue during time the customer was already going to spend there anyway. None of it is essential to washing clothes. All of it adds up. And this is where the maintenance side of the business becomes surprisingly important. Machines run almost continuously, sometimes 16 or 18 hours a day, which means wear happens fast. A single broken washer isn't just a repair bill, it's a machine sitting empty, earning nothing for every hour it's out of service. Successful laundromat owners tend to treat maintenance less like an occasional chore and more like the actual daily job, because an idle machine is the only real threat to an otherwise self-running business. Put all of this together and a laundromat starts to look less like a place people go to clean their clothes and more like a quiet cash-generating machine disguised as one. The upfront cost keeps out
most competitors out. The self-service model removes the need for constant labor. The habit of doing laundry every week or two turns customers into something close to unintentional subscribers. And the whole thing runs day after day, whether the owner is standing there or not. So the next time you walk past a laundromat with rows of machines spinning and nobody behind the counter, you're not just looking at a place to wash a week's worth of clothes. You're looking at one of the few small businesses ever built almost entirely around not needing you to run it.